Hey, it's another video, and today we're going to talk a bit about Bladestorm. Bladestorm is an ability that most people don't really build around when playing Ash. They usually use Seeking Shuriken, because that's very strong. But I like using... Well, I looked around the wiki for a bit and found out some interesting things about Bladestorm, how to get damage out of it, and what surprisingly doesn't give damage to it. And I made a build around it. So the first thing we notice is Mecha Set. Mecha Set is a thing I use very often on invisible frames. It's a very strong set, and especially with the status changes, you can go to level cap with Loki and this set, and this will be your only damage increaser. It's very crazy with slash procs. And it works very well with this set because we are using slash procs. So how we're going to get damage out of Bladestorm is surprisingly not with our melee weapon, but instead with our melee damage effects. Arcane Fury, Arcane Arachne doesn't boost the damage because it only cares about melee damage. It's very odd that way, so you can't stick in Vigorous Swap for that. But you can stick in Steel Charge. So why Steel Charge affects it, but Pressure Point doesn't, I have no clue. It's probably some sort of allied entity or something. I don't know. But if it was, it probably wouldn't get affected by Steel Arcane Fury, so it's more like that's a bug, or it's intended that melee mods don't really matter. Another way we're increasing it was with Power Strength. We don't need that much. I think a lot of people would think the only way is with Power Strength. And while Power Strength works up to a certain degree, stacking more and more of it on, it just doesn't really help. You really need these separate multipliers in terms of some melee damage, which will multiply all our damage by 1.8. Unless we're using Steel Charge, then will be added onto that, and then we will get like 2.4. And then Mecha Set will increase our damage against marked targets by 1 point. It will give us 150% extra damage, so it's a 2.5 times multiplier. And against it also boosts status effect damage, like faction damage would. So it actually gives you a ton of damage, and I think it's really important because of that. And the AoE effect is also something that technically increases our damage, but it's more of a nice added thing that actually makes the ability useful. And if it didn't happen, I probably wouldn't be using the ability, but that's how it goes. I guess we can look at our companion for a bit. These are the two mecha mods you want. Synth Set is good for auto-reloading weapons. Health orbs will also drop from enemies killed with the mecha set, so you get a lot of health orbs out of that. And Retrieve is good for survival, but in general, this is just the best Kubro in my opinion. You can use the one that turns you invisible. That one's also sort of useful, and I think that one could be pretty good if you're not running survival. But other than that, I don't think the other companions are really that good for the Kubro slot, at least. We're not using Link Shields. I would use Link Shields if shield gating felt proper on companions. I've noticed a lot that after I die and respawn, they seem to die instantly to basically anything. And shield gating seems to work, but not really. When you haven't died, where they get hit, 1 or 2 damage bleeds through, and then their shield goes up, and it's very weird, but whatever. And we're using Kuvenukor. This is magnetic for shields, obviously. And to give a demonstration on what I mean by mods don't affect Bladestorm's damage output, we will spawn in a corrupted Bombard. Hit him once or twice. So we deal 3,180, 1,740 on the proc. So what if we stick on Finishing Touch, Pressure Point, and Condition Overload, because why not? Like, it doesn't really matter. Prime Smite, yada yada. All that stuff. Kill the enemy, respawn him, and don't nearly kill him, surprisingly. That just shows how strong the ability is at base. So we still deal 3,180, 1,740. And you notice with one mark, it really doesn't do that much. You need 2 or 3 marks on a single enemy without extra effects. So it's really important to get little bonuses here and there. But what you can do because of that... Oh, by the way, there are some slight things that increase our damage. Besides the aura and our arcane. So if we spawn in a bunch of corrupted bombards, we can... Let's get some health, or energy, not health. We already noticed what's going on. As you can see, this damage is slightly increasing the more it goes on. Now this is not because Bladestorm innately does more damage the longer it goes on, but let's get our combo to cap. The higher your combo gets, the more damage you do. This is more of a remnant from the old melee system where your combo damage multiplier actually affected damage as well. So this means that the Venka Prime is generally the best for Ash builds that are affected, built around Bladestorm. As you can see, we can kill him with 1 mark now, because we're dealing 13 times damage, which is a lot more. Actually, I don't think it's 13 times. We're dealing 12,000, then 6,957. We're dealing increased damage. So yeah, if you did want something else that would increase your damage, though, if they do release a mod that increases your combo capacity cap, or your combo cap, I would stick on builds like this. But other than that, just build however you want. Increasing the rate you gain combo at is very effective at increasing your damage output, because early on you won't do any damage. To be honest, this ability really needs to ramp up before it does anything, and it needs your arcane to be up too. So what I did instead was built around Toxin, and this is for nullifiers and stronger units that are shielded. For weaker units that are shielded, I'm running a magnetic nuke core, so our Bladestorm can take care of them just fine without Toxin damage. For a primary, if you're going into arbitration, something that deals with arbitration drones is very, very useful. So the Fellman obviously is very good at that, and you could bring a Kuva Brahma. It's also very good. Just overall, very strong weapon. So let's see what this does when we have Companion up. Full combo. Let's see. We don't have any combo, so we have to build it up again. And yeah, I brought this into an arbitration yesterday, and it went against level 700 units just fine. It's very nice. So we have 10x combo now. Let's just unpause the AI, go invisible. That's how this build works. We are an invisibility build. Wait until the guy marks it. So we find a mark, kill him, and then a nuke effect happens, and everybody dies. That's how this build is supposed to go. It's very good because of that. I think that's about it for the build, and I'll see you maybe in a month.